What is going on, fellow web developers? My name is Tyler Potts, and in today's video we're going to be looking at building this anime tracker. So anime, there's loads of episodes, there's so many different animes, and you just want to be able to track them, such as My Annie List or My Anime List, a bunch of different sites you can use to track your anime. But I'm going to show you how you can build your own local version that works with local storage from the front end. So as you can see here, I have an anime tracker. I already have Dragon Ball Naruto already set. Naruto is completed. Dragon Ball, we're still through it. We've just watched 3 more episodes. There we go. 3 more episodes is done. Now let's say we want to start a new one. So we're going to say, okay, I'm going to go for Tokyo Ghoul. We're going to hit enter or search, and that's going to actually search. And you can see here we have a list. We can actually scroll through of different animes. And if we go to the top, we can select this one. We can click add to my anime, and you can see it is now at the bottom of this list. It actually goes in name order, so D, N, T. I'll see if there was an A, it would go at the top. And here, let's say we've watched 6 episodes. So you can see we click, and we can go all the way up to 6 out of 12 there. And there you go. You can see that's actually set. And then let's say actually we only watched 5, so we can remove 1, and there you go, you can see it's there. Now if we actually refresh the page, you can actually see I'm refreshing the page and nothing is changing because it's all stored inside of local storage. So this is what we're building today, guys. I hope you're excited. Leave a thumbs up if you are, and let's get on with the rest of this video. I just want to take a minute out of the video to talk about our sponsor, Ridge. Ridge create products that allow you to do more with less. One of their products is the Ridge Wallet. It is a lightweight, durable and slim designed wallet that carries up to 12 cards and allows you to also carry cash on the back using this cash strap. It looks awesome, and this is called the Forged Ember edition. Compared to my own wallet, this is lighter, slimmer, and just overall smaller than my wallet, and it can carry more cards than this can. Ridge was generous enough to send me 2 wallets. As you can see here, this is the Forged Ember. It's a carbon fiber, really lightweight design. It's really good, and it's easy to carry around. And they also sent me the Black Damascus stainless steel, which is a different type. There's aluminium, there's titanium, and there's a bunch of other ones you can check out on their website too, of different materials they use. But here you can see this stainless black one. It's really nice. It's nice, shiny, sleek, and has a really nice pattern on it as well, which is awesome. My favorite one is the Forged Ember because you can see these sparkles, which kind of look like flames on the actual wallet, which is pretty awesome. What I really love about this is how it's completely changed my perspective. I no longer carry anything that's unnecessary. I used to have loads of receipts. I actually have them here, which I pulled out of my wallet, a bunch of just random stuff that were in my wallet for no reason. I no longer do that. I also just love the design. It looks really nice. It's really easy to just get your cards out and use them. And yeah, it's just a perfect gift to get your dad this Father's Day. And better yet, you can get 15% off your purchase by using my coupon code, which is down below in the description, along with a link you can follow to get to the Ridge website. So yeah, this is the wallet. It's absolutely awesome. Thanks again to Ridge for sending it out to me. And I'll show you the Damascus black one last time here, which they're just really nice and they're really sleek and generally really good wallet. So definitely check that out, have a look at the description, and think about getting your dad one for Father's Day using the coupon code below, guys. So thank you very much, and let's crack on with the rest of the video. Okay guys, so I have got this in mobile view here, just on the side, or just, well, a smaller screen view here, just so you can see it easier. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our integrated terminal. I've got a folder open inside of my page here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to say npm create feat at latest and a dot. So what we're saying here is we're going to create a new feat project where we're going to instantiate a Vue template, and then we're going to use this dot symbol here to say do it inside of this current directory. So don't create a new folder, just put everything inside of this empty directory. So what we're going to do is going to hit enter, and that's going to start running. It's going to ask us some questions. What's your package name? We're just going to say anime tracker. Hit enter. It's going to ask us what framework. For this one, we're going to be using Vue, and we're going to not use the TypeScript. We're going to use vanilla JavaScript. And then we could just run npm install in here to actually install all the dependencies we need. Okay guys, that's now installed. So the next thing we want to do is say npm run def to actually start a development server. So here you go. This is what it currently looks like. We're using the default template obviously to start with. We can count up and that is it. You can see here, hello view 3 plus feet. So we're going to go back into our source here. Actually, we're going to start off in our index.html. I'm going to rename this to say my anime tracker. Just like that, and then we can close that. That's all we need to do, just so it says my AnyList tracker. The next thing we're going to do is go into our components, and we're just going to delete the whole folder. We're going to delete the assets, and we just need the app view and the main for this tutorial. So I'm going to go into the app. I'm going to delete the imports, and we're going to delete the template inside of there for now, and everything inside of styling. Okay, so once we've cleared these, we're just going to put inside this a main tag which just says hello world. And then we're just going to instantly start on the actual functionality. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import ref, computed, and onMounted from Vue.js. We're then going to do a const of query, which is going to be equal to a reference, a const of my anime, which is equal to an array, and then finally a const called search results, which is going to be also equal to a referenced array. Now what's going on here is we have so we've imported reference, so we can use reference inside of our apps to create our variables, our state management variables, and then we've got our computed here, which we're going to use in a second, and then we've got onMounted, which we're going to use later on as well. So we've got query, which is going to be what we type into search. This is going to be what we're looking for. This is my anime, which is going to be our anime list. So this is going to be the anime we add to our anime list. And then search results is going to be anything we get back from our query once we submit to the API. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say const my anime ascending, and this is going to be equal to a computed value, and inside of here we're just going to say return, and then we're going to say my anime dot value dot sort a b, and then we're going to say return a dot title dot local compare b title. So now let me explain what this does. So for starters, my anime ascending is going to be a ascending list. So it's going to be from A to B, A to C, sorry, not A to B. It's going to go A, B, C instead of C, oh God, C, Y, X. Is that how it goes backwards? I don't know. But anyway, it's going to go that order instead of go backwards. We're then going to return my anime. We're going to sort the my anime list, and we're going to sort it by basically doing a local compare. What local compare does is it converts whatever we pass through, so a.title, it converts that into a number and then this into a number value and tells you which one should come first. It's probably a bit confusing, but basically all this does is it sorts it from A to Z. We're then going to go under this, and then we're going to have a search anime function, which is going to be an arrow function. And we're going to say const is URL is equal to https api.gcon.mo/v4/anime. And then we can pass through our queue here, which is going to be our query. We're going to say query.value. So anything we put into our query, we're going to search for in this function here. They're going to close off that bracket there. And then underneath this, we're going to use a fetch request. We're going to pass through our URL. We're then going to say .then rest JSON. So we're going to convert the result to a JSON we can read. We're then going to get our search results value and set it to the results. Well, this is actually going to be results.data. So we're going to actually get the data back, because that's what's passed back from this. Now, underneath this search anime, we're going to then put in another function called const handle input. Now, this is going to take an event, and we're going to say if we don't have the target.value, so if there's no value inside of our input field, we're going to set our search results value to an empty array. So what we're doing is we're getting our search results, and we're going to say if when we search this query, if this is empty, we're going to basically reset this to be nothing, so we don't always have a bunch of search for stuff. We're then going to, underneath this, we're going to say const add anime. So this is where we're going to actually add anime to our list, and we're going to say equals anime arrow function, and we're going to say search results. We're going to say search results dot value is equal to an empty array, because when we add an anime, we want to close the search box because we've added it. We then want to say query dot value is equal to an empty string. We're then going to say my anime dot value dot push, and we're going to push through an object. So we're not just going to pass through everything from the anime we get, because we're going to be using the Gcon API here, which gets everything from my anime list. And that says pushed. That should be push. And basically that passes a lot of stuff through. Now we don't need everything. We need a few different things. So we need an ID, which we're going to get from anime.mal ID. We are then going to get a title, which is going to be anime.title. We're then going to get an image, which is going to be anime.images.jpg.image URL. And then we're going to get total episodes. So we're going to get how many episodes are in this anime. So we're going to say anime.episodes. And finally, we're going to get a new one called watched episodes. Now this is not coming from the anime we pass through this add anime function. We're actually going to set this to 0, because when you first add it, it's going to be set to 0. And this is the value we're going to change. So we're going to add to this and take away from this depending on what button we press. We're then going to start our local storage. So we're going to say local storage dot set item, and we're going to say my anime, and we're going to set this to be a JSON.stringify my anime value. Now underneath this, we're going to create an increase watch, and we're going to set this equal to enough for anime. So this is going to be where we increase this episode count. So we're going to say anime is equal to an arrow function that we go anime underscore or anime dot watched episodes plus plus, so we add an episode to it, and then we're going to use local storage to reset our whole my anime list. We're then going to copy this function, we'll paste it below, we're going to change this to say decrease watch, we'll set this to minus minus, and then we're going to save the whole anime list again. Now finally, for our final bit of functionality here, we're going to say on mounted, we're going to pass through an arrow function, and this is just going to say my anime.value is equal to JSON.parse local storage.get item my anime. So when we load our application and when we mount this app component, what we're going to do is we're going to check our local storage to make sure we have anything there. If we do, we're going to add it to our array. If not, we're just going to initialize a blank array there. And that's all we need for our actual functionality. So this should now be working in terms of functionality. We'll just be able to add this all to our application. So the next thing we want to do is go inside of our main, and we just want to put a H1. This H1 is going to basically say my anime tracker, but you can name this anything you want. You don't have to keep it at my anime. You don't even have to style it or write it in the same way, as long as you add the same functionality. We're then just going to say on submit.prevent, we're actually going to call search anime, which is the function we have up here, search anime. Below, inside of this, we're going to have an input of type text, which doesn't need the name or the ID. We do, however, need a placeholder that's going to say search anime or search for an anime. And then we're just going to have theme model this to the query. So that means anything we type inside of this is going to be attached to this query. which we're then going to pass through in our search. So we're actually going to be able to get the value of that. Finally, we're just going to say at input. So when we write anything in here, we're going to call the handle input method, which then will work inside of here. So if we type stuff in here and then we delete it, it will actually update this input, this handle input here, which will clear our search results if there's nothing there and we've made a search. So let's just bring this over. I'm just going to break this down so it's easier for you to read and follow. There you go. And then we're going to add a button. Oh. We're going to add a button underneath this, which is going to just say search. We're then going to add in a type on this button, and we're just going to call it a type of submit, because we're going to be using this button to submit our form. So a type is always necessary to, you know, tell people what it does. We're then going to create a div called results. Now, this div will have a fee if, because we only want this to show if we have results. So we're going to say search results dot length is greater than 0. So if we have any item inside of our search results, we're going to actually increase, or we're actually going to display the results. We then want to say div dot result, and this result will have a fee 4 on it, which will say anime in search results. So we're going to get the anime out of our search results. And then we'll just go, oh, not give it a class, we already gave it a class. We're then going to go inside of here and we're just going to say image. And this is going to be bound to anime.images.jpeg.image URL. There you go. And then we're also then going to get, we're going to give a details class in here. And I'm just going to do a h3. This h3 will say anime.title. And let's just save that quickly. Let's search for something like Naruto. Let's do this, hit search. And there you go, you can actually see we're getting a list of different Naruto shows. You got Boruto, the last Naruto movie, Naruto Shippuden, and a bunch more stuff all along here, as you can see. So if we clear this now, you can see once we cleared that search, everything disappeared, which is good. That's exactly what we want. So let's carry on. So the next thing we need is a paragraph. We're going to give this the title property of anime.synopsis. And then we're just going to say fee if we want to say anime.synopsis. So because sometimes they don't have a synopsis. And what we want to do is anime.synopsis.slice, and we only want to get 100, let's say 120 characters. So we only want 120 of them. We then want a span, and this span is going to have the sole purpose of pushing the bottom to the bottom of the page. So we're just going to say flex-1. We're then going to create a button, and this button is going to say add to my anime. We're going to give this a click event, and we're going to say add anime, and then we're going to pass through the anime itself. So if you remember here, we have this add anime function. We're actually going to pass that in here to add anime, add to my anime. So let's hit set, let's just hit that. Let's actually open up our console here and just delete this and refresh. You can see there's nothing inside of our local storage. So what we want to do is, let's say Naruto, search. You can see we get this, and if we hit add to my anime, that closes this, and then you can see in here we actually have Naruto added to our anime list, which is perfect. That means it's working and it's going well. So what we want to do now is actually display those anime that we currently have. So under here, we're going to create another div. I'm going to give this a class of my anime, and then a fee if my underscore anime dot length is greater than 0. So we just want to make sure there's some results in my anime. We're then going to div a h2 that says my anime, and below this we're just finally going to say fee for anime in my underscore anime underscore ascending, because we don't want to get the my anime list. We actually just want to get the ascending list, because that way we'll get it in the right order. We then want to pass through a class, And this class is just going to say anime. And underneath here, we're just going to put in the same things before. So we're going to have an image. This one will be bound to anime.image. We can remove this alt tag for now. We're then going to have a h3 that is going to have in its anime.title. We're then going to give it a flex 1 like we did above to push everything away from it. Then we'll give it a span with the class of episodes. And inside of this, we're just going to break this down and we're going to say anime.watched episodes. We'll do a slash here and then we're going to do one more which says anime.total_episodes. Hit save and there you go. Yeah, you go. So you can actually see this appearing on the right here. So we have my anime and you can see we've got Naruto with this 0 out of 220 watched. Now we actually need to create some buttons here. So we're going to create a button. This is just going to have a plus on it. And we're just going to say if anime.total episodes is not equal to anime. That's one too many things there. Anime.watched episode. So if we don't have the same amount, then we want to show this. We're then going to say at click, and let's break this down so again it's easier to read, and let's scroll down a little, and then break that click event down, and inside this click event we're just going to say increase watch, and we're going to pass through the anime we want to increase the watch of, which is this current one here. And we can break this down here. This doesn't need that, could be like that to make it a bit cleaner. Let's copy this button and let's paste it underneath. Now this needs to be decrease watch, and this needs to be the anime watched is greater than 0, because if it's not greater than 0 then that means we've watched none of them and we don't want to minus anything. And hit save and also change this to a minus. And now on the right here you can see if we click this plus, the minus appears and this actually works. You can see here it's going up as we click, which is really good. That's exactly what we want. So now we've got all this in place. This is actually all the markup we need. Let's just search for another one. Let's say Dragon Ball, just so you can see it happening. And then let's just go for this one here. And we can increase that as well. And there you go. You can see that's working fine. We also need to get to the end, but that's fine. We'll get to the end of Wordview in a moment. And then under here, we're going to now start styling this up. So inside of here, we just want to say star margin is equal to 0, padding is equal to 0, and box sizing is equal to border box. We don't just want to give it a font family of Montserrat sans serif. A body, we're going to have the body have a background color of EEE. We're then going to have the main be a margin 0 auto to bring it to the center, a max width of 768 pixels, not pieces, pixels, and then we'll have a padding of 1.5 rem the whole way around. So if we just hit save, there you go. It needed me to refresh it. It did not like just being saved like that. We're then going to have a H1 which says text align center. So we're going to start up. We're going to give a margin bottom of 1.5 rem to push it down. We're then going to get our form and we're going to display this as flex. We're then going to give this a max width of 480 pixels. And we're going to give this a margin of 0 auto 1.5 rem to push the stuff down below as well. Now once we've got that form in there, we're going to need the input styling. So I'm just going to say form input, and this is going to say appearance none, outline none, border none, and also the background to be white. We're then going to go underneath this and we're going to just say display block. We're then going to give this a color of 8888 to make it slightly grey, a font size of 1.125 rem, which is 18 pixels if you've got a 16 pixel parent. And we're going to say 0.5 rem, 1 rem, and a width of 100%. And there you go, that's already looking a lot better. Let's go under here and style up our button here. So we're going to say dot button. I'm going to say appearance none again. We're going to actually basically just copy this here, paste that in. We're going to give this a cursor of pointer, and we're actually going to set the background to be none for this because we're going to add a background image to this. We're then going to say display block, padding 0.5 rem, 1 rem. We're going to then give it the background image, which is going to be a linear gradient to right. And I'm going to say deep pink, 50%, and dark violet, 50%. Again, feel free to use whatever colors you want. We're going to use background size of 200% here. And if we refresh, did we add button to that thing up here? We did not. We need the class of button on our search here. So we need to say button. There you go, that's now styling. And there you go, so you can see that there. We don't want to have color of white, not GG, that doesn't make any sense. Color of white, we can then just say a font size of 1.125 rem, a font weight of 700 or bold, and then we can say text transform uppercase and transition 0.4 seconds. That should be transition and not transform. So now when we actually hover over this button, just say button hover, we're going to just say background position is right. And there you go. You can see it actually slides across like a cool little button effect, which is nice. For some reason, it looks like we've missed the classes of these as well. These should also have the same class of button. There you go. And that should be good for now. Then we're going to go back down to our button hovering, now type in results. So inside of our results, we're going to have a background color of white. And just so we can see this changing, we're going to actually search for something. We'll say Tokyo Ghoul, hit search. And there you go, you can see that's there. Also, I've noticed we need the button class on that as well. I seem to have missed all the button classes for some bizarre reason. There you go, now that has the same class on there too. Let's scroll back down and then let's go back to our results here. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to give this a border radius of 0.5 rem to make it slightly curved. We're then going to give it a box shadow of 0, 2 pixels, 4 pixels. And then we're going to say RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.1. Under here, we're going to have a max height of 480 pixels. We're going to set the overflow Y to scroll. And we're just going to set the margin bottom to 1.5 rem. And there you go. You can see that's now a scrollable list here, which is good. That's what we want. Now, underneath this result, we're going to actually style the result. Now, the result is going to display it as a flex element, margin 1 rem to give it some padding, and a padding of 1 rem. We're then going to give it a border of 1 pixel, 1 pixel solid, and we're going to use the CCC grey there. We're then going to give it a border radius, a border radius of 0.5 rem. And a transition of 0.4 seconds. Hit save, and there you go. You can see that's looking a little bit better, but not perfect. So let's actually style that image. So we're going to say result image. We'll give it a width of 100 pixels, a border radius of 1 rem, and a margin right of 1 rem as well. And there you go. That's already looking a lot better, but there's still more we can do to style that up. So we're going to go to our details section. We're going to flex 110% this. That'll just make sure it keeps its sizing. We're then going to display flex, we're going to say align item center, or sorry, flex start. And then we're just going to say flex direction column. We're then going to go under here, we're going to say flex 1 is going to be equal to flex 110%, because we just want to be able to push stuff down. So you can see that button now has spacing because it's being pushed apart. We then want to go .details, and we want to say our H3 is going to have a font size of 1.2 rem and a margin bottom of 0.5. We're then going to do the same for our paragraph here. So we're just going to say font size of 1.0875 rem, because we want it to be slightly smaller, just so it's easier to read. We're then going to also give this a line height, of 1.4 as well. There you go. That's a lot better to read. Now, underneath this, we're then just going to actually set some styles for the button here. So we're going to say details.button, and we just want to set the margin left to auto. So that will push it to the left side. So you can see here on bigger screens, that actually sits more to the right side, the bottom right of the page, which is exactly what we want. We now want to start our My Anime section. So we're going to say My Anime H2. And we're just going to give it the color of 888. We're then going to give it the font weight of 400 and a margin bottom of 1.5 rem. And there you go. You can see that's starting to be styled there. We then want to go to My Anime again. And this time we want to actually style the anime itself. So we're going to first off display this as flex. We're then going to align item center. After we've done align item center, we're going to say margin bottom 1.5 rem. If that'll work. It doesn't seem to want to work. It's just margin bottom 1.5 rem. There you go. Just to push things down a little. We're going to give it a background color of white. We're going to have a padding of 1 rem and a border radius of 0.5 rem. And finally, we're going to have the same box shadow we did before. So we're going to have the 0 pixels, 2 pixels, 4 pixels, RGBA 0.1. And there you go. That's already looking a lot better, other than the image being absolutely huge. So we're going to say anime image, and we're just going to give this a width of 72 pixels, a height of 72 pixels. We're then going to say object fit cover, because we want it to basically sit within that parameter, so it's a box. We then want to say border radius of 1 rem, and also a margin right of 1 rem. And there you go. That's looking a lot better already. Now under this, we finally want to go to our H3, so we're going to say anime H3, and we're just going to say color is going to be a gray, so we're going to say 888, and the font size is going to be 1.125 rem, just to make it slightly smaller so it fits a bit better, especially for the longer titles. Now we're going to set our anime.episodes, and we're going to say margin right of 1 rem and our color of 8888 again. So there you go. You can see that's now pushed over. We're then going to get our .anime.button, and we're going to say first of type is going to have a margin right of 1 rem. But then we're going to say our anime.bottom last of type, and we're basically going to set the margin right to 0, because we don't want the last one to have it. Also, I just want to change this font to Fire Sans. I think this will look a bit better, and there we go. That looks a lot better. I just want to change it up to make sure it looks a lot nicer. And here we can add to this now. We can minus, and if we go back to nothing here, you can see the button then comes back, and we can actually add it up there. And that is how it looks. So let's just bring this over. So now everything should be working. So we've got Tokyo Ghoul. Let's actually add it to my anime list, and let's actually just complete this one. So all the way up to 12, and there you go. You can see there's only a minus button now, and you've actually completed Tokyo Ghoul. So that is all for this anime tracker, guys. I hope you have learned a bunch of stuff with it. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Don't forget to check out this video's sponsor. All the links and details are in the description. So a massive shout out to The Ridge for sponsoring this video. Thank you very much. And guys, if you've got any questions or you get stuck, feel free to hop in the Discord server. The link is also down below, along with the code repository for this. You can head to GitHub, the link's down below, and you can actually get the code for this straight out off the bat. But for now, guys, thank you for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.